Oh, isn't she pretty and cute? It's just a shame she's so dumb. Oh, now, Thunderfoot, how can you besmirch a pretty young thing like that? Justify yourself, man. Well, okay. First, what is she wearing on her head? Yeah, this girl thinks that wearing a sheet over her head will show an ancient magical desert spectre that she respects him. And if you don't, you are instantly recognizable as a social pariah.
What is the penalty for leaving the Muslim faith?
It's very well known. If it's an Islamic country, then the Sharia is very clear. Apostasy is dealt with the death penalty.
It's all designed to create social conformity to the religion and to make it harder to leave. So no, I have no respect, none whatsoever, for a woman who embraces the very tools of her social thraldom, no matter how well it's accessorized. But that's not the only reason this Islamic makeup girl is dumb. Used the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. She filed DMCAs for her own purposes when Potholer54 had the temerity to draw attention to her scientific illiteracy that she decided to vocally parade on YouTube. Sorry, girl, but that's a big no-no. You choose to inject your scientific illiteracy into this forum. Now, a more compassionate and understanding guy than Potholer54 you will not find. But I'm not Potholer. Indeed, for me, this free and open forum thing is one of those black and white, never compromise type issues. Now, I've got a pretty dim view of commercial makeup bimbos, Islamic or not.
Maybe one aspect of the atheist YouTube community is dead or dying, and maybe that's not a bad thing. As far as the anti-religious rhetoric and the way it is escalating into the most pernicious forms of abuse, stereotyping, prejudice, and yes, I include racism in that when it has to do with Semitic peoples, particularly Muslims. This is not useful. This just escalates things. It's pouring gasoline on the fire. Crazy Western atheists, look at how decadent they are, look at how immoral they are. How does that help anybody? Look, virulent theists don't interest me at all. I love watching debunking videos, but I have no interest in hearing what these crocodile people have to say. Just whole and unedited. I know what they have to say. It's lies. It's pandering. I know what they have to say. So let the atheist community, so-called, be dead. If the best you can do is to say something condescending and trivializing about Amenakin like she's a pretty little thing, a person's physical appearance has nothing to do with the content of their ideology or their thought or their philosophy. If you're going to attack Amenakin, it doesn't have to do with whether she has breasts, a hijab, olive skin, a Quran. It has nothing to do with that. So Thunderfoot went there, which is just as bad as mocking or ridiculing somebody for walking with a crutch, for having a speech impediment, Down syndrome, being black. It's stupid, it's petty, it's superficial, it's divisive, and it's low class and without ethics. That's why I unsubscribed from Thunderfoot. I subscribed to Thunderfoot because of his science videos back in the dark ages a few months ago when I was brand new to YouTube and finding my way around. I thought, oh goody, somebody who's popularizing science, somebody who's saying, look how wonderful and beautiful and intricate and amazing the universe is. Look at the odds that life would not have developed on this planet. Look at the odds that conscious life would not have developed on this planet. Look at the odds that intelligent life would not have developed on this planet. Look how lucky we are to be alive, to be aware. That's why I subscribed to Thunderfoot. And in 1 month, he might as well be a fundamentalist Christian, because he's using the same rhetorical cheap shots and garbage. But I don't need it in my life. I don't need that kind of hate, and I'm not an atheist to be caustic and bitter and superior to people. I'm an atheist because I saved my own life, because I was raised a fundamentalist Christian. I can't even stand to listen to that crap anymore. If that atheism community, the smug, sanctimonious crap. If that stuff is dead, for instance, Magic Sandwich Show. Look, individually, I'm subscribed to just about everybody that's ever on the Magic Sandwich Show. But to sit and listen to the Magic Sandwich Show as they go through and analyze whether or not Dawkins should debate that creationist guy, why bother? Why are you debating him? He's not going to change his mind. You're not going to pwn him or pawn him or own him or on him. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. It's just bread and butter. That's why these people are filing these false DMCAs. You're screwing with their bread and butter because you tell them the truth. Please tell the truth. Always tell the truth. I think we need to shift the focus of our audience. Number one, atheism seems to be talking to itself, which means we're the masturbators. We're preaching to the choir. We're telling each other how smart and beautiful and wonderful we are. And what good is that doing us? Oh, I need the support. Believe me, I need to hear that I'm smart and beautiful and wonderful. But there's got to be more to our content than that. That's number one, how smart and beautiful and wonderful and superior we are. Number two is how stupid, ignorant, foolish, superstitious, and bad those people are. Well, we're sure winning a lot of converts, aren't we? How did you deconvert? How did you step into the light? Do you remember the first time you said, whoa, and started to cast off those shackles? And felt yourself able to breathe and your chest able to expand because that bondage was pulled off of you? Do you remember the first time you marveled at microbiology or astrophysics? Do you remember? Do you remember that joy, that liberation? Do you remember how awesome it was? Do you remember why you think Stephen Hawking is just like out of sight? Remember Carl Sagan? That's who brought me here. Cosmos. I was grappling with, my church tells me being gay is wrong and that I as a woman should be submissive to men and I can't preach. I wanted to speak truth to power. And in the context of my faith, the only thing I could think of where I could do that, where I could be useful to humanity, was to preach. And I got laughed at. I don't have a penis. I can't preach. What? My dearly beloved Reverend Dr. Harold Fickett. Sorry. I really loved him. He was my spiritual father. He was my mentor. And one day, when I was about 13 or 14, I sat in pew on a Sunday morning, and he started in on gay people. I was in love for the first time. It was a woman. It was profound and overwhelming and beautiful, and I was scared. Now, I wasn't gay, because in my head, gay people were white Anglo-Saxon Protestant males between the ages of, oh, say, 25 and 35, slender, with good physiques, and probably blonde. So I couldn't have been gay, right? But as Fickett stood in that pulpit and told us that God condemned them, that they were damned, I had a revelation. That those people, those gay men, were loving. And I knew what love was now. I knew what it was. I knew how righteous it was, and healing and comforting. I knew how much brighter colors looked, and how much more poignant life was, because I loved. And I thought, I just knew. I didn't think. I knew that wasn't evil or wrong or bad. And at that point in my life, I framed it as love was a gift from God. I mean, doesn't it say in the Bible, God is love? I mean, I've got the damn thing memorized somewhere back there in the back of my head. It's still all there. So how could God hate people who loved? And there was my mentor. And those words were coming out of his mouth. That began my journey. And then Cosmos came along. Sagan never said you should be an atheist. He never even said you should be an agnostic. He never said you need to abandon your religion because it's too confining, too narrow. You know, religion had its place back then, but we have science now. That's the way he framed it. When he talked about the burning of the Library of Alexandria, do you know that has changed my life? He talked about how the scientists were inside. They'd invented a steam engine. Was it used to replace slavery? No. Was it used as a tool? No. It was a toy for rich people, like really fancy electronic internet devices are now. Did those people even understand how it operated? No. Did they appreciate the science behind it? No. Were the scientists explaining to slaves and people on the streets how these tools could be used and integrated into their lives to improve the quality of life so that they could use their minds and bodies for something else besides menial, manual, gruesome, dangerous physical labor? No. They sat in there in their ivory towers, congratulating themselves on how smart they were, and to quote Sagan, when the mobs came, there was nobody there to stop them. The impact of that has informed my adult life. I will be there to stop them. They'll have to kill me first. I live in a small rural town in New Mexico. My neighbors are superstitious, narrow-minded, frightened of anything outside their personal experience. They don't expose themselves to much. They see me as a threat, and they don't even know why. They don't know that I'm an atheist. They don't know that I'm queer. But there's something about me that frightens them. They're not bad people, most of them. Some of them are kind of dangerous and toxic, because if I do accidentally stumble across the little barriers of their life that they've set up as rules about this is how reality is, if I happen to stumble across that or push that envelope accidentally, I'm not trying to provoke. They can turn on me. I have to be careful. But I want to address them. The ones who aren't here. The ones who have never heard of an alternative or an option. The ones who live in darkness. If the Atheism YouTube community is dead, it's because we have forgotten where we came from. We have forgotten our roots. And we have forgotten that now, more than ever before, in my lifetime, or my mother's lifetime, we need to provide an alternative. We need to stand as models. We need to, by the way we live and the way we speak and the things we value and the things we share, we need to offer a liberating alternative. Fox News isn't going to do it. NPR is afraid. So is public television. I'm talking in the United States. I don't know what's going on elsewhere. If I had made that YouTube video to Amenakin, I wouldn't have mocked her hijab, mocked her for selling skincare products. My gosh. When you look at the spectrum of Islam, my gosh, she is broadcasting her own face. She is talking to other Muslim women. She's talking to other Muslim women. You want to subvert theocracy? Talk to the women. Why alienate her? Potholer54 did the best possible thing. He worked out an alliance as best he could on that particular issue of the racism of the comments. He formed an alliance with Amenakin. They absolutely disagree on origin of life, origin of the universe. They absolutely disagree. They have fundamental disagreements. But he found common ground with her on that subject. Instead of going to Amenakin's channel and telling her what an asshat she is, we could have gone to her channel and said, I appreciate the fact that you're trying to run a small business. And that can't be easy as a Muslim woman. And I don't want to do anything to interfere with that. At all. High five, and I wish you all the best. Now, I need to respectfully disagree with you as a peer and an equal. I need to respectfully disagree with you on your perceptions of the theory of evolution the creation of life on the planet, and the creation of the cosmology. And here's why. And present your arguments as though she were your equal, a worthy human being, and capable of learning, which she is. Maybe what needs to die in the atheism community is the sense of privilege and arrogance, the old boys network. This is one reason why I am so opposed to words like cunt and twat in your videos. We have something to offer that you haven't thought of. Maybe condemning people, insulting them, putting them down, maybe that old... What does that have to do with rationality? Maybe that needs to die. I'm hearing people of color who are atheists talking about the impact of religion on their own communities and cultures. How it's been used as a tool of oppression. How Christianity, for instance, has been used to tell people living in slavery in my own country, God has given you this lot in life, and if you're really good, you're going to have paradise. But what does that mean in the 21st century? Does that mean people are gay on the lowdown? Does that mean homophobia? Does that mean, God, this sexism? Does that mean the GOP can count on the black church or the Native American church? Do you have any idea what's going on the reservation? No. And why don't you? Because you're all talking to yourselves. I know an atheist Navajo man. He's also queer. He's also a U.S. veteran with post-traumatic stress. He's an activist in the town near his reservation. Do you know him? Shut up and listen. Give us a chance. I don't care about Ray Comfort. Isn't that an ironic name? I don't care about him. What I care about is the benighted people who have no scientific literacy or exposure, who have never been presented an option, who have never been offered an alternative, who have never looked through a telescope or a microscope. I want to talk to those people. The burnout has to do with forgetting where you came from and how you got here and how many millions of potential brothers and sisters you have that you're not reaching. I want to talk to those people. That's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.